Barney's beer, Marshmallow, milk stout.
Life is too short to be drinking shitty beer.
Welcome to another edition of Bands, Bikes and Booze Reviews. I have got yet another one from the Lidl craft range that they're doing at the moment as part of their craft beer festival. This is their Marshmallow Milk Stout. You wouldn't believe the amount of people that call that them marshmallows. Fucking marshmallow. Get it right. My missus does that. Fucking winds me up. But she hasn't done what I did and fell asleep in front of a fire where people were toasting marshmallows and I burnt my feet. That's for another story. I actually told a story in another video, an early video. I'm not going to sell it here, but yeah, it wasn't a good day for me. I'd had a few. That's all I'm going to say. Anyway, moving along swiftly. This, as I say, is one from the Lidl Craft Beer Festival that they're doing at the moment. It is now August 2020. It is fucking sweltering out there. It's up in the 90s. I am sweating like a pig. And a stout like this really isn't the sort of beer for this type of weather. But I don't care. That only cost me £1.49, I think it was. Or was it £1.79? Damn, I can't remember. It's one of the two. But it's under £2. So that's something that Lidl, I think, have done a policy of now, of this craft beer festival they're doing. No beer is over £2, and I have to say, so far, the beers have not been bad. Slightly worrying, the majority of the beers come from Scotland. You had the Williams brothers that I just reviewed. I did the Loch Lomond beer yesterday, which was really nice. Stout Brewing, I'm sure that's got some connection with Scotland, but that was brewed in Manchester. But this stuff is from Edinburgh. It's Barney's beer. They've been going since 2010. Never heard of them before. And this is a good thing, this craft beer festival, because it's introducing me to breweries who I've never tasted their beers before. Loch Lomond is one of them, and this one as well, and of course Stout Brewing too. And Lidl's have classed this as an imperial dessert stout. Now, I think they just made that up. I think the classification for this is a pastry stout or an imperial pastry stout. That is the sort of accepted term for these very sweet dessert type flavours that go into stouts, and they usually are high ABV. But this is this sort of falls under that character, so I'm going to call this a pastry stout. Effectively, I think that's what it is. But there you go. It's 7.4%, so I'm going to take me time with this. I'm not going to neck it unless it's really, really nice. It's got a lot of sweetness in here, and alarm bells are already ringing with me, but I'm going to save that for a little bit later. Let's investigate what this beer is. Right, it is a 330ml or 300? I was surprised yesterday by a Belgian beer, and would you believe, oh no, it's 330, sorry, 330. It is 7.4% ABV, roasted toasty, dark malt and vanilla sweetness like a marshmallow roasted on an open fire. I wonder, does it taste like a motorcycle boot being burnt in an open fire? Because I have first-hand experience of that. It was quite a cold day and I thought my feet were warming up nicely. It was quite comfortable. Then I realised the fuckers were on fire. I had to throw the boots out. The soles of them was on fire. I'm not going to go into it. It's a fucking sorry tale of drunken woe. But there you go. It's got some interesting hops in this. I did look up the brew sheet that Lidl have put up, believe it or not, and the brewery website doesn't put up. So I'm going to go with what they've said. It's got Goldings in there. Now, it doesn't say which Goldings, but I'm assuming it's Kent Goldings, and that means that they're quite mild, quite soft, herbal flavours, quite a nice hop. Not sure whether it's sort of hop you'd use in a stout, but there you go, they've done that. You got Bramling Cross. Now that has got quite a lot of grapefruit in it and gooseberry, but most importantly, it's got vanilla. It has you can detect some vanilla in this hop, and they are making a big thing about vanilla being in there. I'm assuming there's also going to be added vanilla to that, but I'll let you know when I taste it. And the last hop, of course, is Willamette, which is quite a broad-ranged hop. It's spicy, it's fruity, it's floral, and it imparts some quite nice flavours depending where you put it in the boil and what the alpha acid content is on it. The malts are interesting. I mean, it uses pale malt. They do say that. They use what's called choco malt. I'm assuming they mean chocolate malt. That's going to give it a nutty type flavour. They use it in stouts anyway, so that's a perfectly acceptable type of malt for a stout. But they also use what's called black malt. Now, I'm not sure what they mean by that. So I'm going to go with black patent malt, which is again quite a popular malt that's very dark, chalky, and it's got burnt type flavours. It's quite dry. It needs quite a dry finish. It's used in porters and stouts as well, so there you go. It's also got lactose added to it, which of course is the sugar from milk, or it's the sugar that is found in milk. And I think it's got vanilla added to it, but I'm not sure. Lidl's are saying it has. It doesn't really say it on there, but, or does it? Am I being very unprofessional? Barley, glucose, lactose, hops, vanilla. Is that vanilla yeast? Oh no, they haven't put. Oh, have they? Fucking hell. It says vanilla with no comma and then yeast. I don't think this is vanilla yeast. I don't think there's such a thing. So it's got added vanilla in there. Anyway, let's get it open and let's see what this is. Plain white cap. I imagine they're trying to keep the cost of this down because it's being sold quite cheaply. I'm not sure how much they're going to make on this, but I can't imagine it'd be much if they're selling this for under £2 a bottle. But there you go. I'm going to give it an aggressive pour because it's quite high ABV, and the alcohol of course will dissipate that quicker, and also the heat in this room will not be good for that head either. What have we got on the nose? And immediately roasted barley. That's what I'm getting. There is a sweetness on it. Not big on the vanilla. Oh, am I? Hang on. There is a little faint aroma of vanilla. I thought there'd be huge sweetness coming from it, but it does smell quite reasonable. There you go, the head's going on there. That's like a half finger head. That is totally black. That is like crude oil, like what I get out of my Harley. Let's get it down the hatch. Cheers. Quite nice. That is not as sweet as I thought it was going to be. It actually tastes like an half decent milk stout. Very smooth, roasted barley, chocolate, heavy chocolate malt, and there's a sweetness that runs all the way through it, but it's not overpowering. Some of these, I'm going to call them imperial pastry stouts. Now I'm going to compare this with the Tiny Rebel Marshmallow stout, because effectively this is what this is. That was just way too sweet for me. They have got the balance a hell of a lot better on this one. It's not overpoweringly sweet, which is nice. There's more vanilla on the back end as it warms up. This came straight out of the fridge, and believe me, this did not take long to warm up in the heat in this room. I normally have a fan going on here, but as soon as I turn it off, it's like a fucking greenhouse. And I'm getting more of them sweeter flavours now. But it's not too bad. It's a fine balance between the sweetness and the bitterness of the roasted barley, and I'm assuming the hops as well. There is a little touch of hop bitterness on there too. Not bad. Quite nice, well balanced, and I have to say, and again I'm going to compare it to the Tiny Rebel, the balance is much better on this one than the Tiny Rebel stuff. That was a lot higher ABV, I think that was 11.5%. It was super strong. Quite nice. Sweetness is there, but you're also getting a few nice toasty malted barley, roasted malt and barley in there. Quite nice, not a bad effort. So what's the verdict on Barney's Beer Marshmallow Milk Stout? This is quite nice, and again, Lidl's have come up trumps. They've done really well with their craft beer festival so far. I'm liking a lot of the stuff they're doing. This is no exception. This is a cheap, under £2, 330ml bottle of nice sweet milk stout, and I have to say it is not bad at all. The balance is quite nice. As it's warming up, there's more sweetness coming on there, so it is just slightly tipping into the sweet, but it's perfectly nice. I could drink a couple of bottles of that before I'd get a bit, oh, this is a little bit too sweet, but quite nice. One or two of them with a dessert, chocolate cake or something like that, that'd be handy. I don't have food with me beer.
Go away. Go away. I tell you, I am leaving.
It's a chicken shish kebab at the end of the night with me, with plenty of salad. But this is quite nice. I'm going to give that an 8 out of 10. And I'm taking into consideration the price as well. It's good value for money. If you like your sweet stouts, you're going to like that. If you like your normal stouts, it might be a pleasant change, because the balance on that is quite nice. The porter and stout purists will get all their flavours from the bitterness, and the novelty craft brew stout and porter fans will get the sweetness from the vanilla. The vanilla's not too overpowering in this. I thought it'd be a hell of a lot more. It's just quite nice. It's a nice balance. So yeah, 8 out of 10. Recommended. And remember, beer is working class champagne.